There's been 2 EDA assignments, okay? I did not assign a new one this week. So 2 total. They are due by Wednesday at 2 o'clock, no exceptions, okay? If you're absent on Wednesday, that's not a reason to not have it done because it's been open for weeks. And any makeup work, same thing. So if you've got lost points on any of your little packets, you can get some of them back by getting those in by Wednesday at 2 o'clock, okay? After that, we're done. All right, so everyone should be open to page 179. We're learning a new formula, but what's nice about this class, we got to give this class some compliments when we can, because it's hard to find those compliments, is that the formula that we're about to use is on your formula sheet. So far we've been working with slope-intercept form, and then we have simple interest formula right here, which we're going to talk about, okay? So what is this lesson all about? So this is like real life application of math. So let me give you a scenario. Grandma gives you $500 for your birthday, okay? And you want to save it and make some money off of it. You can earn interest. So you go to the bank and you say, I'd like to open a savings account. Here's my birthday money from Grandma, $500. And they will say, okay, well, we have an interest rate of something %, and over however many years you want to keep the money in here, we'll keep adding money onto your account. This simple interest formula is that idea, okay? So here's the formula on your paper, okay? Let's go through what each of the letters are. 1, 2, 3, 4 letters in there, okay? We're going to start with P. P is what they call the principal or initial amount. Initial means the start at the beginning. So I always think of this as like your starting amount. This is like the $500 that Grandma gave you for your birthday. She's a very generous grandma. Starting amount, okay? What do I have right now that I want to add to, all right? R is the interest rate. R is an interest rate. You can always find R very easily because it's going to have a percent symbol next to it. Now, percents have, anytime you work with an R, and there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of formulas that use rates or percents in them, every time you have to put a rate in a word in an equation, you have to do a little bit of work to it, okay? And to do that, you always have to change your percent to a decimal, and that's something I will show you how to do in just a minute. And then T is your time in years. T, time, makes sense. It's always years, okay? And back up to A. A is the current amount. Like, that's how much. So $500 you take to the bank at 6% interest, and every year they'll give you that. After 5 years, A is what you have in your account once you're done. So that would be your total or final amount. Okay, so right here in this little space, I want you guys to write some stuff down because by the time I get to you, I already taught this lesson once in first period, and I know exactly where first period students made some mistakes, so I'm going to help you guys right now know this is where they made mistakes, so we're not going to make them in this class, okay? So, and the first major thing was changing percents to decimals, so I'm going to do a few examples for you. And if you write it here, when you get to the homework, you can always go back to this and see, okay? So let's say I gave you 4% in the word problem, okay? So that's how much, it's always going to be given to you, and you'll always know, and it's going to be R. R is your 4%, okay? What you can do is just literally super, super simple. You take your percent. I don't know why this calculator sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. Very temperamental. Okay, so 4 divided by 100. It's always divided by 100, okay? So I just put in my calculator 4 divided by 100, and that gets me 0.04, okay? Let's do another one. 2%. So you would just do 2 divided by 100, and you get what you get, okay? So no one was confused by that, right? That's not confusing. What's confusing is when they suddenly put a decimal in the percent, when there's already a decimal in it, like 1.2%, okay? Now watch what happens in my calculator. If I do 1.2 divided by 100. Okay, it works that time. There's one it doesn't work. Why? 0.3 divided by 100. Yeah. Okay, so let me change that. Well, we'll just do it. So what, I'm going to pretend it didn't work, and I'll show you another one that didn't work, because you are going to have ones that don't work, and it's always been ones that have decimals in it. Okay, so pretend it didn't work. All we're doing, guys, when we divide by 100 is we move the decimal point 2 places to the left. So I'm just taking this decimal point and going 1, 2. But there's nothing there. What do you think I put right there in that spot? A 0. So this would be 0.012. Okay? Let's try another one, like 0.3%. If you try to put, so that's what you're given, if you're given 0.3 and you try to divide it by 100, what your calculator is doing is putting the answer in scientific notation. We haven't covered that yet in this class anyway. I hate that our calculator does that, but it does. So the workaround is all you have to do is take your decimal point and go 1, 2 to the left. If there was nothing in one of those spots, you just make it a 0. So that would be 0.003. So this is a step that has to be done in every single problem, okay? And let's do a problem so you can see what I'm talking about. So example 1, I'm going to read, and then we'll work it out over here, okay? Tanya opened a savings account with $2,100. She's a really generous grandma. Her grandma gave her $2,100 for her birthday. That's your principal, guys. That's how much you start with, your initial amount, okay? The bank offers an annual simple interest. Remember I said rate will always have a percent? There it is. So far I have a P of 2,100 and an R of 6%. Find the amount in Tanya's account. So we're trying to find find the amount in the account after 3 years. So we'll come back to the T in a second, okay? So don't forget, before we plug in to this formula, we need to do some work to our percent. Since there's no decimal point in it, I can do the easier method of just doing 6 divided by 100. And that gives me 0.06. So guys, listen to what I'm going to say right here. Common mistake is students plugging in a 6 for the R versus changing it to a decimal first and plugging it in. Okay, so that's really important. So let's plug these numbers in. A is what we're trying to find. Then we have the principal. And I'm just following this formula right here. Then there's parentheses. Always a 1, always a plus. We already changed the R to 0.06. And I'm not going to plug the 3 in. I'll show you, I'll explain why in a second. I'm just going to make it a T. And I'm going to simplify this. Here's why we're not going to plug it in yet. I'm going to simplify this, so now I have a formula that I can plug any T in. I can plug in 3, and if you look ahead, the next question is 8. That way we don't have to keep writing the formula over and over again. And when you get to the homework, same idea. Like number 1, you're going to create your equation, just leaving T as a T, and then you just use that to plug in A, B, and C. So 3 different T values, okay? So let's just simplify this. So here's where everything we've been learning in here, never goes away. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day whatever, we've been solving equations. We have to be able to look at this and simplify it, okay? We can't solve it. There's 2 variables in it. But let's at least get rid of the parentheses, combine like terms, that kind of thing. So I'm going to distribute first, right? Because I can't do anything in the parentheses. The parentheses have 2 unlike terms. You can't add a 1 to something T, right? So I'm going to do 2,100 times 1. Okay, that's easy. I didn't even use my calculator. There's a plus sign. And then 2,100 times 0.06. 2,100 times 0.06, I get 126. And don't forget there's a T. There it is. That's the formula I can use. Now I can plug in any T they want to know. And what do they want to know? When T is 3. So we're going to plug a 3 in there, and now we can find the total amount. So the amount in our account will be 2100 plus 126 times 3, right? Just plugging in t. And this is all calculator work, guys. I'm going to multiply 126 times 3 and then add 2100. Remember, order of operations, we multiply before we add. And a lot of times there's already numbers on your calculator screen. You don't have to type it in again. Like I see 126, so I'm just going to do times 3 equals, right? So I get 2100 plus 378. So add 2100 to that. And the amount I will have in my account after 3 years will be $2,478. Guys, your A should always be bigger than your P. P is the smaller amount, what you start with. What you end up with should be more than that, right? Okay. So now I'm going to rewrite this formula on the next page because it's the same bank. It's Tanya, this Tanya girl that we're talking about in this problem. So since we did it like this, we just left the T blank. We don't have to create the whole equation again. We can just say, okay, here's the equation we came up with. She just wants to see, what was it? Oh, sorry, that's not it. I'll put it over here. A equals 2100 plus 126t. So she went to the bank, okay, and she found out that after 3 years, that's how much she's going to make. She's like, I need more than that. I'm saving up for whatever, okay? Okay, let's see, how many years can we save for? Let's try, well, we'll do 8, Alan, since that's what the question asks. But yeah, you could plug any number in, right? So she's going to say, okay, what is it going to be after 8 years then? So now you're just plugging 8 in for t. So 2100 plus 126 times 8, and back to the calculator. 126 times 8 is 1008. And it's already on my screen. I don't have to type it again. Plus 2100. So the amount in her account after 8 years would be $3,108. Okay, so definitely more. Yes. Unlock it. Okay. We're going to do one more type of problem, and then we will go to the homework. Let me do this for her. Anybody else that's testing need something from me? Sorry, it logged me out. So guys, when I come around and help you, you're good, Sadie. When I come around and help you, I will expect to see this stuff in your notes because remember, I don't just give you homework randomly. I do examples with you that match your homework. So I don't mind helping you, of course, but I will definitely want to see that you were paying attention while I was doing this stuff, okay? So I just showed you one type of problem. I'm going to show you the second type, and then I'll get you to the homework, okay? So now, same idea. We're still using the same formula, but let me read it to you and tell you what's different. One tiny difference. Jackson opened a savings account with $5,000, okay? That account earns, there's my rate, simple interest annually. Annual means every year. After how many years? Ooh, after how many years? That's the question. How many years will it take to get your account to 15,000? Round to the nearest tenth if necessary. Okay, again, I don't like the way they do this fill in the blank, so we're going to do our own thing. Okay, so what do you guys think 5,000 is? What letter do you think that is? Is that your interest rate? Is $5,000 your interest rate? P. It's your principal, right? Our principal is $5,000. Remember, principal is how much you start with. That's your money that you're going to earn some interest on and make more. Clearly, if you see a percent sign, that is your rate. And here's one that gives us a decimal in it. So don't go to the calculator. It's going to give you weird looking answers. All you're going to do is move your decimal point 2 places to the left. It's always 2. And that will get you 0.095. You have to do that step every time, okay? Don't skip it. And it's asking for how many years. That's what we're trying to answer. And to get the account balance to be $15,000. That's the A amount. So this is like I'm saving for a car. You want that you know that you're thinking you're going to buy a car for $15,000. You have $5,000 right now. Your bank is going to offer you this interest rate. How long is it going to take you to get to your goal? So it's just kind of using the same formula but looking at it from a different angle. So again, you do not need to memorize the formula. You can always use your reference sheet just like you can always use your calculator. And let's go ahead and plug those numbers in, and then we'll see what we do, okay? So the amount in the account is $15,000, right? That's my A. P is 5,000. Parentheses, 1 plus, sorry, let's bleed through, 1 plus, and then R times T. You can use parentheses, you can use a dot, it doesn't matter, but it's 0.095 times T, which we don't know, right? So I'm gonna just move that sentence down a little bit because I feel like it might be hard for you guys to see, so I'm just gonna rewrite it right here. You don't have to write it again if you don't want to. Right? And so, guys, there's only one variable in there, T, and somehow we have to solve for it. Again, I can't add what's in the parentheses. They're unlike terms. So you guys, that's actually something you have been really good about in the past, this class, is knowing to get rid of parentheses, we do the distributive property, okay? So I'm going to bring down my 15,000, and then 5,000 times 1 is just 5,000. And then 5,000, in my calculator, that's 5,000 times 0.095, right? 5,000 times 0.095 is 475, and there's a T. What's the next step? Remember, I'm trying to get T by itself, not you, Alan. No offense. What's the next step, guys? Alexis, you paying attention? Anybody know? Besides Alan? Come on. Gabriel, you know. What's the next step? Good. It's going to be something like that. Gabs, you should be doing this with me. Elisa? Yeah. Subtract what? Yeah. Remember, we're trying to get T by itself. You're slowly moving everybody to the other side. So 1,500 minus 15,000, sorry, minus 5,000 would be 10,000. Of course, you can use your calculator if you need to. Last step, what is it? Natalie, do you know? Guys, don't forget what you already know. You all know how to solve equations. You're proving it to me every day in this class. Do we know? Come on. Yasmin, do you know? Divide by what? That's right. Guys, don't forget. This is multiplication. The opposite is division. I've been trying to take it easier on you guys by not calling on you so much, but it looks like I might need to. Make sure you're paying attention. You guys, you cannot always rely on me. You have to do some of this on your own. All right, we get a crazy decimal. That's not wrong. That happens. We always round to the first decimal place, the tenths in this class. So 5 makes the 0 go up to 1. It will take about 21.1 years to save for that car. Yes. Yeah, when we're done. So 21.1 years. Okay? So you have to read the question and see, what is it that I'm trying to find? Is it I'm trying to find how many years it'll take? You'll know that because it gives you the P and the A, okay? Or is it asking how much am I going to get after a certain amount of years? So let's look at the homework and see what we have. Okay? So page 181. No, it's 1 through 4. I'm going to help you guys set up number 1. Okay? 1 and 2 are alike, and I'm going to help you set up number 1 just to make sure you guys get it. 3 and 4 are like the one I just did. Okay? How do you know that, guys? It says example 2 right there. That's what we just did is example 2. It matches up with this type of problem. These are example 1. So anytime you're stuck, you can always go back and look at your notes. Oh, that's what it's asking. Okay? So let's organize our information. Charlene deposited $3,400 into a savings account that has an interest rate of 0.2%. Let's take that information and organize it. So she starts with a principal of $3,400, right? We know if it's got a percent symbol next to it, it's an R, and we know we have to do some work to it. Since the decimal point is in the problem, we have to move it 2 places to the left. So that's going to get us 0.002. So this is what we'll use in the problem, not that. And then, so let's create the equation, and then we'll plug in the 3 different years. So we don't want to plug in t yet. Let's just make the equation. So A equals P, parentheses, 1 plus 0.002t. And let's simplify it just one nice easy step by distributing. 3,400 times 1, we got that. And then I have to put this in my calculator. 3,400 times 0.002. So now you have your equation. And to finish problem 1, you can plug in a 2, plug in a 5, plug in an 8. Okay? So you don't have to create the equation every time. So you'll do the same thing for number 2, and then 3 and 4 are like the one we just did. Okay? So I will put, no, I'm going to point out that the key is getting put up. It does not have the work. Okay? So you need to put the work. Yeah. Be quick, though. Remember, I'm putting people on hall pass restrictions who are abusing. So go and right back to you.